EVs, electric vehicles, I think are great. I also believe that the infrastructure is going to take time. I think this is the video that everybody has been waiting for and maybe wanted to see, and nobody really wanted to do it. I will say at the top of the video that this is not going to be ragging on anybody. I actually still love Rivian. I don't know how I feel about Electrify America, but we're gonna get into that. This is all gonna be shot in real time. I am at the hotel that I stayed at last night. I currently live in Boston, Massachusetts, or the suburbs, and I am building a tiny house in a shop space there. I come from the van building world, or I come from the VanLife world. I lived in a van for 3.5 years, and I show people how to do things. I show builders, I show all that good stuff in van life, tiny living stuff, camping, adventuring, travel. But I just got this Rivian and I took it on a massive road trip for not only me to check it out, but for you guys to see what its capabilities are traveling cross country. I linked up with a company called Campworks and I drove from Boston to Denver. I picked up the trailer from Campworks and towed 2,000-pound trailer from Denver, Colorado to Boise, Idaho, we'll say. But I had to drive the camper back from Boise, Idaho to Denver. I was about 300 miles from the hotel I was gonna stay at last night and dropping off the camper. So that means I had about 2 stoppages left to charge the Rivian to get to my destination. I went to plug in the Rivian at Electrify America, which are stations all over the country. They're fast chargers pretty much for any brand, make, model of EV. With the exception of the Teslas, because they have their own network. Teslas can still use them because they have an adapter for that. So when I plugged in the Rivian, it was charging for about 2 to 3 minutes and then it would cut me off. Session has stopped. Now this has happened in the past, just 1 or 2 times, no big deal. I'm like, all right, that's weird, but whatever. So then I called Electrify America and I was like, guys, what's going on? They actually reset the stations, they tried it again and it still was cutting me off, which kind of stunk. And I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. I went to a different charging network, which were in the area was ChargePoint, and they don't have super fast chargers, but they have fast chargers, which go at about 125 kilowatt per hour. Able to charge up enough at that station and then get to another Electrify America station to try and get back to Denver, which is where I had to drop the camper off. That Electrify America station, again, the same thing happened, but it was actually in a minute. During that time frame, I actually called Rivian support and I was like, okay guys, we need to figure this out. I think it's my truck. I don't think it's Electrify America. They have been amazing. We're trying to figure it out. Essentially, I'm driving a massive computer on wheels. Electrify America are also massive computers that, you know, handle charging. We have to figure this out. I don't know what's going on. I believe that it's probably what they call the handshake from the EA stations to the Rivian. ChargePoint was working just fine. I found another charge point to eventually get me back to the hotel, and I had a charger at the hotel. But now I have to figure out how the heck I'm gonna get from Denver, Colorado to Boston in this video. I have to charge Electrify. There's no other stations throughout the country. I have set the Rivian on conserve mode, and the mileage has gone up to about 326 on conserve mode. I've got the road tires with the aerodynamic wheels, so I'm hoping this all kind of works. I got my coffee and we're gonna hit the road right now. Let's do this. Okay, update for everybody. Talking to Rivian support. They have been fantastic through this entire ordeal. I gave them a ton of notes between last night and then this morning. They had their diagnostic team look over everything with my vehicle, because again, these are computers on wheels. There's even a way for me to timestamp any issue for all of you Rivian owners out there. If you need to timestamp an issue that has happened, all you have to do is hit the hazard button, like the hazard lights, and that'll timestamp it. Diagnostic team can go in and look at, okay, that was the issue, is there an error code? The issue is they haven't found any issues. Rivian's not blaming Electrify America, but they're also saying it's not on their end. I'm not the biggest when it comes to reading forums, but according to many of the Rivian forums that are out there, Rivians are having issues charging at, I'm gonna call them EA from now on, EA stations, which is Electrify America. I'm hoping that it was just that those couple stations and it was just an anomaly, but we're gonna find out at the very first station that I stopped at, which is in Nebraska, coming out of Denver going towards Boston. This is very real time. I have not tried it yet to see if it's gonna work. So if it does work, then that's awesome. And this video is almost obsolete. I'm gonna open my little carport little thingamajiggy. Okay, here we go. This is usually where the part, no account found. We're unable to find your, what? Something's up with Electrify America, everybody. So I'm gonna pay. I didn't think it was Rivian. Oh, I can't wait to call Electrify America because I actually have like $50 left on my account. All right, this has been the problem where it's been happening before, is it just kind of shuts off. Plug in my phone number here, text me when it's done or give me updates. My account was working, then it would automatically do that. So let's see what happens here. It looks like it's charging at 210 kilowatt, which is pretty good. I'm at a 350 charger. Yesterday what was happening is after about a minute to 2 minutes, it would just cut off. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. The reason I did not film it all happening yesterday is because I was super frustrated and I don't want to take my anger out on any company, whether it's EA or whether it's Rivian. But this is actually a pretty good video for me ripping into them because now my account is, for whatever reason, not working. All right, everybody, a little update for you. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. First, Electrify America worked out. We're gonna get going. I'm excited. I can reach my destination where I wanna go. Put in my GPS for the next station to go to, which was, it had about 100 miles left on my tank for that just in case moment. And thankfully I did that because I got to the station. Out of the 4 stations that were there, 2 of them were unavailable. So they do that sometimes. They just say they're unavailable. 1 was being used and there was 1 that was open. So I tried the open one, plugged it in, kicked me out within 10 seconds. Again, same thing was happening. I called EA, Electrify America, to get them to be like, what is going on? They reset it. And I you know, the problem is that I know that you guys are like, oh, why didn't you get all this on camera? Like, I'm trying to move as quickly as I can. I can't record their conversations because it's not allowed. From what happened is that person I spoke to at Electrify America was kind and I was frustrated. I wasn't yelling at them, but I was definitely like, we need to figure this out. Because again, Rivian has already said that they went through their line of code and there's no error codes whatsoever. It's been charging at other stations, which I'm gonna get to in a second because that's where I am. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with Electrify America. This person's telling me to start it through the app. Tried that. To start it with my Apple Pay, tried that. Tried to not even do either one of those ways and just use a credit card, tried that. They tried to do a remote start on their end, tried that. Tried so many different ways to get it started, and I told them multiple times, it's not the starting of it. It's the continuing of the chart. I told them, I think it's connection point. They didn't want to believe me. I told them then I need to speak with the supervisor and kind of go up higher up the list here because there's obviously a technical issue and I need to talk to tech support. People I'm talking to are customer service. During that time that I left that EA station, luckily there was a charge point nearby and that's where I am right now. I'm charging at a much slower rate. It goes at a max at 50 kilowatt per hour, which is roughly 120, 130 miles per hour that it's charging. It says that it's gonna end in 1 hour and 48 minutes. You know, if I was at an EA station, I could be charging double this right now. And again, that 1 hour and 48 minutes is cut in half. So that is why fast chargers are used, but I'm also kind of stuck here and I'm adding that much more time to my trip. The EA person that I talked to even said to like hold up, you know, the charger so it can like stick in there good. And I'm like, if you guys know that this is a problem, then you need to start replacing the heads of these cords, because I'm over here at charge point and these things are stout. Plugged in, it's like beefy. I don't know who owns ChargePoint. Fun fact, people that own Electrify America is this company called Volkswagen. The people that own EVgo, which EVgo is not nationwide, it's in a lot of places, mostly East Coast, honestly. So EVgo, I want to sign up for. I'm going to sign up, but they're mostly East Coast, and they're owned by Ford, I believe. Waypoint is owned by Rivian, as well as the Rivian network. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna whip out the laptop and get some work done while this thing charges at a slower rate. Give you guys an update later. It's now 2 a.m. local time, and I am exhausted. But I am at a charge station, and I'm trying a new one, and it's working. This one's Green Lots. I believe it's owned by Shell Corp. The Shell Corporation, I believe, because it has the little shell symbol. Took me a minute to figure out, but you know, I just set up an account through the app because the credit card reader wasn't working, but I could have used the credit card thing, but it gave me an option to just scan a QR code and then sign up through the app. So I just did that. It took me a couple minutes, and bada bing, bada boom, I'm charging like a rock star over here. Obviously, I'm tired. It's not as fast as the Electrify America stations. The EA stations can get upwards of, you know, 350 kilowatt per hour. That's giving me like 400, you know, miles per hour that it's giving me. Right now, this is charging like 80, 90 kilowatts per hour, 215, 225 miles per hour, saying it's gonna charge up in an hour. Great, take a little snoozer. In the meantime, I'm just gonna take a little nappy nap. I think there were Green Lots actually from here to the remainder of home, which is Boston, so I could technically use that. I don't know. Use the map here. As you can see here, all the green dots are technically fast chargers. All these like gray dots are not fast chargers. And there's actually two shades of green. You probably can't really tell, but that's one shade of green that's not as fast. Brighter green are, you know, fast DC chargers. I could go over the whole different spiel of all that stuff, but there's plenty of videos on other people that are experts, and I thought this was gonna be a way worse video than it turns out to be. I was stuck for like a hot minute. I'm gonna go to sleep right now. Good morning. I've hit the road for the last couple hours. I slept at a rest area after I charged up at that Green Lots, and I'm headed to another Green Lots to just do a little quick charge up to 80%. I'm gonna head over to the Rivian station. Electrify America, you guys are just dropping the ball. I'm just gonna keep using the other companies. I just wanted to point out that I've been driving on conserve mode in the Rivian. Ordered the off-road package, but I got my Rivian early. With this current configuration, I have the road tires and wheels, which give it a little more aerodynamics, which help a lot on the highway. So I put this bad boy to the test, and I put it in conserve mode on my drive from Denver to Boston. I did all-purpose mode on my way out there, and on the all-purpose mode, I was getting roughly 300 miles per charge. I'm getting close to 340. Between 330 and 340, depending on road conditions. Yeah, I'm driving through mostly flat land right now, and I have the large pack. I do not have the max pack. You can stretch the Rivian miles by doing some altercations and driving accordingly, and when you put it on conserve mode, I believe it cuts off 2 of the 4 motors, so it makes it only front-wheel drive. I wouldn't really use this for everyday driving. I'd use the all-purpose mode, but for long-distance drives like this, definitely switch into conserve mode from now on. Especially when I can't use the fast chargers that this whole video is about in the first place. All right, you guys can see that I am at the Rivian hub, or the Rivian facility, where they actually build all the R1Ss, R1Ts. I had to sign an NDA. I'm not allowed to film in there, you know, I'll have to take pictures in there. I did see some really cool stuff. I believe the tour is open to the public. From what I understand, you can come down here and you can kind of check out their facility, check out their assembly line. It's open to everybody. You can go in there and get coffee. There's a coffee shop in there. Smoothie, I just had a smoothie, a strawberry banana smoothie. It was delicious. Shout out to my guide Adam, and Curtis was also in there. I wish I took a picture with them, but I didn't, but they were amazing. Thank you so much. Back on the road. I'm gonna actually go try an EA station right now to see if it works. I would have used their chargers here, but they're all full. Obviously, there's a bunch of people charging, so. I thought this video was gonna be way worse than it really was. It really wasn't that bad. I was gonna film the outro at Electrify America station, but it turns out the last station that I have to stop at, all the stations, like all the ports, were unavailable according to the app. So I wasn't gonna try to go there and waste my time. So I went to another station, which was a green lot. They've been great, can't say anything bad about them. I get there, I plug in, there was somebody else there, they were charging, they ended up leaving, 2 other cars came in, they plugged in. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden all 4 machines just went blank. I called customer support and they said, yep, there's been an outage. And we were like, is there a way for you guys to fix it? And they said no. Luckily, I had 160 miles to get to another station, which is more than enough. And actually, to be honest with you, I might even have enough to get home. The guy next to me though, he had 14 miles left. So he had to find another charger quick. And I'm new to the EV game, right? For me, I like to plan to get to a charger when I have like 40 to 50 miles left. Just a little FYI for everybody out there, when your gas light comes on, that's like your reserve tank, you have roughly 40, sometimes 50, sometimes less 30, but you're right around that mark. Now granted, yes, I understand there are more gas stations than EV chargers. EVs, electric vehicles, I think are great, but I also believe that the infrastructure is going to take time. This is going to take time. It's going to take a little bit of figuring out from everybody. And then everybody's going to complain, we're still not, the charging of it is still using grid power. Okay, well that's probably the next iteration of what we're supposed to do. Do I feel that our electric network is going to take time? You bet your bottom it's gonna take time. Problem is we have a generation that's up and coming right now that wants everything immediate. Technology is moving faster than we all think it is. Okay, obviously I have made it home successfully, and that was my biggest obstacle. I drove all the way from Boston to Denver, from Denver to Boise towing a camper, from Boise back to Denver towing the same camper, and now Denver back to Boston, all in an EV. And I can guarantee you I am not the only person that's done it. I've actually talked to others that have done this as well. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Please check out all the other videos. I do a lot of tours, I do some woodworking stuff. I'm about to start building a tiny house. I do a van building. I'll see you guys later. If